Hello friends. So in this video we are going to continue the topics which are being left over in the chapter of national income accounting. So in fact we have covered many topics in this chapter. So it means like we are almost going to end within 4 to 5 videos with regards to this chapter. So in the previous videos, we have covered like what is gross domestic product. We have also covered gross national product అంటే ఏంటో కూడా మనం డిస్కషన్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఈ వీడియోలోనే మనం ప్రీవియస్ వీడియోలోనే డొమెస్టిక్ టెరిటరీ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ని కూడా మనం నేర్చుకోవడం జరిగింది. Now in this video, we are going to discuss one important classification of national income, which is known as national income at market price versus national income at factor cost. So this is the one more classification which we are going to discuss. In fact, we have covered the different classifications of national income. Like we have covered what is gross versus net. We have covered what is nominal versus real national income. In fact, in the video, we have covered national product versus domestic product. Now, this is also one more classification which we are going to understand. Now, to understand what exactly national income at market price and national income at factor cost, so what we need to understand is like one little bit concept which we has to understand, that is known as net indirect taxes. Now, in fact, net indirect taxes, which is referred as NIT, in fact, this is the term which has been outdated. Now, in the recent times, we are using net product taxes also. But what exactly it means? So, net indirect taxes means the indirect taxes minus subsidies. So, this is the term which you has to understand. So, the indirect taxes minus subsidies is considered to be the net indirect taxes. Now, the question is, what like ఎందుకు మనం నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ అకౌంటింగ్లో ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ అనే టర్మ్ తీసుకుని వస్తున్నాం. Now to understand this, we know that what is market price. Market price means the price which we pay when we buy the product. For example, ఒక షాప్కి వెళ్ళి we buy the product, and when we are buying the product, the price which we pay, this is referred as market price. అంటే and since we know what is market price, so when we are paying the price, we are also paying the indirect taxes. అందువల్ల మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ కొన్నప్పుడు దాంట్లో ఇంక్లూజివ్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ట్యాక్సెస్లో ఇట్ మీన్స్ లైక్ వీఆర్ మోస్ట్లీ పేయింగ్ ద ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ ఆల్సో. సో సిన్స్ నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ఎట్ మార్కెట్ ప్రైస్లో మార్కెట్ ప్రైస్ ఇంక్లూడ్స్ ద ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ కాబట్టి then that is why we are using or bringing the term indirect taxes in this concept. Now what exactly it means like indirect taxes minus subsidies ఎందుకు తీసుకురావాల్సి వచ్చిందంటే, so indirect taxes are such kind of taxes where it leads to increasing the price of the product. Ante government, if it starts imposing more indirect taxes, it means the prices of a particular product might rise. Ante ippudu for example 5% GST on like soap unte, if government starts increasing more on the soaps like 12%, 18%, the price of the product may rise. So that is the point. Now why we have used the term subsidies? Now if government starts providing subsidies more and more to the producer, now the producer, when he sells the product, he sells it at very low cost compared to the earlier. So that is where indirect taxes increase the price of the product or increases the market price, and subsidies decreases the market price. Now when we talk about the net indirect taxes, so one is increasing the price, the other is decreasing the price. Now what we need is the net impact on the market price, net impact. That is where we are discussing the concept of net indirect taxes. Now once we have understood the concept of net indirect taxes, now let us understand. So we has to finalize in such a way that market price is the price which includes taxes, but whereas factor cost is without taxes. So no taxes within the factor cost, market price includes the taxes. Now that is where any national income which is valued at factor cost can be derived, which is like national income valued at market price minus net indirect taxes. And you know what exactly net indirect taxes is, or we can also write it as any national income valued at factor cost can be written as national income at market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidies, because minus of minus gives us plus, that is where we can write. So that is why if we want to calculate gross national product at factor cost, now the gross national product at market price minus net indirect taxes. So this is the how we can derive. Now, for example, if we need net national product at factor cost, then it can be written as NNP at market price minus net indirect taxes. So these are the different forms of national income which we can derive once we know the core point, which is like national income at factor cost that can be derived. And once we understood, then we can get any form of national income. Now, if you look at this term, which is like NNP at factor cost, so in fact, NNP at factor cost is considered to be the official measure of national income. So it means like NNP at factor cost is considered to be the best measure of national income. So there are certain books where NNP at factor cost itself write it as the national income, but we can use it as the best measure of national income. Now the question is why NNP at factor cost is considered to be the best measure of national income అనేది we need to understand why it is referred as the best measure. There are three reasons which we can understand. The first reason why it is the best measure of national income, because so we have the term like net. So we know that compared to gross, it is the net which is considered to be the best one, because net means like we are deducting the depreciation. So we have already discussed that depreciation is reality in the economy and we has to deduct it. So net national income deducts the depreciation, hence it is the best measure, one reason. Now in fact, if you look at NNP at factor cost, so we have discussed net. Now national product is better concept than domestic product. Why national product is better than domestic product? Because so in the modern world, the contribution of residents, we know that national product is defined as the total money value of all final goods and services produced by residents, whereas domestic product is defined as the total money value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. So national product gives value to the residents, domestic product gives value to the location. But in the modern world, residents contribution is considered to be better compared to the location of the production. The reason why ఎందుకంటే, for example, take the example of India. Now ఇప్పుడు India, now we have like USA, we have like Taiwan, we have like China, we have South Korea. So now in today's globalized world, so the different stages of production happens with regards to production of a good, it happens in different domestic territories, which means like if you want to produce smartphones, so smartphones are like the production of smartphones in a single domestic territory becomes difficult in today's globalized world, which means like so a smartphones production process low. Now the capacitor of the smartphone might be manufactured in the domestic territory of Taiwan. Now the graphic design is being done in China. Now the screen is being manufactured in South Korea. Now all these things are assembled in India and now they are being sold to USA. So it means like so in production of a good, the whatever we have the different stages of production. So now these different stages of production happens in different domestic territories. That is where so counting the value of a product in different domestic territories అనేది మనకు డిఫికల్ట్గా ఉంటుంది. దట్ ఈస్ వేర్ నేషనల్ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎంఫసైజెస్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ రెసిడెన్స్ కాబట్టి domestic product emphasis on domestic territory is important kabatti. That is why e national product is considered to be the best. So we are talking it at the conceptual level, even though GDP is the official measure of national income in India, but we are talking at the conceptual debate level lo matram national product is being considered to be the best one. So we have discussed why national product. Now the next reason why we can say NNP at factor cost is the best measure of national income. Now the third reason is like, so we know that factor cost is better than market price, or any national income at factor cost is better than national income at market price. And the reason why any national income at factor cost is better than national income at market price, because so factor cost gives less importance to transfer payments. So factor cost gives less importance to transfer payments. Now let us understand what does it mean, like a factor cost gives less importance to transfer payments. Now what are transfer payments? So transfer payments, it is also known as one-sided payments. సో వీటిని మనం యూనిడైరెక్షనల్ పేమెంట్స్ అని కూడా పిలుస్తుంటాం, యూనిడైరెక్షనల్ పేమెంట్స్. సో ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ పేమెంట్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం చేసుకోవాలంటే వీ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ టూ సైడెడ్ పేమెంట్స్. నౌ వాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ద టూ సైడెడ్ పేమెంట్స్ మీన్? సో టూ సైడెడ్ పేమెంట్స్ అంటే, నౌ లెట్ us టేక్ ద టూ ఎంటిటీస్ ఏ బి. సో ఇప్పుడు నౌ కన్సిడర్ ఏ యాజ్ ఫర్మ్, నౌ బి యాజ్ హౌస్ హోల్డ్స్. Now the best example for two-side payments we can write it as like the factor payments. Now let us understand how factor payments is an example for two-side payments. Ipudu firms will provide factor payments to households, which is B. Now the factor payments will be provided by A, which is firm, to B households only if households provide in return like certain factor inputs or factors of production. So it means like there is something, if something to be flown from A to B, then there is also something should flow from B to A. That is where we used to call it as like two-sided payments. Now let us take one more example. Like ipudu A is considered to be firm, B is considered to be households. Now A produces final goods and services, and when these are being brought by the households, in return they make payment, which is known as PFC. Which means like the households will make or incur will make payments to firm only if they provide the goods and services. So two-way return, so two-sided payments. So these are two-sided payments. Now since we have understood like the two-sided payments, now let us understand what is this transfer payment or one-sided payment or unidirectional payment. Now one of the example for transfer payments we can call it as subsidies. Now what are subsidies? Subsidies are the financial help or aid which government does. For example, if you take it as A to B, now assume A as government, B as the producer. Now government provides subsidies to B. That's it. So there is no government or there is government